you like that picture, Matt?
You're like brothers, aren't you?
I know that is. That picture's fun. Do you like that picture?
Yeah. I like that one.
Oh, not Gary. And what about that one? The Rory. We look like Dumb and Dumber in that picture. Morning, y'all. Right, we've got Matt coming over today, and Dan at some point. Should be a little fun day. Oh, I've just got my coffee from the fridge. I want to show you something. The people commenting asking me not to keep my coffee in the fridge. After opening, suggested storage. Once open, you store the coffee in an airtight container in the fridge to prolong freshness for up to 3 weeks. Airtight. It says it. There. Just what it says. It's alright, I'll leave it in the fridge, please. Right, today we're going to test this. Look, I'm going to test this. It's a training aid. One from PuttOut. Now, I'm sponsored by PuttOut. This isn't an advert for PuttOut, even though if you want to buy this and improve your putting, go and do it. It's fantastic. But training aids in general, do they work? That's today's discussion. And how do you get them to work? Comments down below if you've had success or not success with any training aid. Let's see you. Coach Lockie in the house. Hello, Coach.
Hello.
We're testing the training aid.
We are.
We're going to test it with the lovely Sam PuttOut, which is going to measure if this is actually going to move our stroke or not, isn't it?
It is. It will tell us everything, pretty much.
So we're going to see how much something like this can actually help us understand some of our ideas. And obviously you could relate this to any other teaching aid. It's just this is one that we can actually quantify it with some measurements. You could use this for, you know, if you're doing something with, like, let's say an orange whip is a teaching aid, isn't it? Or, you know, you've got a tower under your arm, those kind of things. One of the things I see with teaching aids, which has always upset me ever since I've been a coach, is the magicalness of them, Matthew. What do you think of that? Do you know what I mean by that?
What, like they're game changers, you
well,
mean?
like, as in they're magic. People think that, so you stick a thingy under your arm and all of a sudden it's like that's fixed. And then you say, well, what is it fixing? And there's no answer for that. That's...
Yes.
It's always a danger with, are teaching aids actually helping, or are they, you know, more of just a placebo?
And I think that's where having the tech as well really helps.
Yeah.
Because you can quantify it, can't you?
Absolutely.
And then say if it is helping or
Yeah,
not.
yeah. And pull what is helping or not. So if you say, like, if we do this and I feel like I'm, for instance, swinging in a figure of 8, but it shows that my stroke is good, that quantifies that feeling to go on to something I can use when all the devices aren't there, maybe. So we're going to start by measuring. I've measured my stroke without the training aid this morning. You're going to measure your stroke without the training aid.
Yep.
And then we will do some with, see how it changes. And then also talk about what we feel, because that's the key, how it makes us feel.
Yep.
We change, and then in turn how then you could use these ideas to improve or not.
Excellent.
So if we have a quick look at the numbers, this is without the teaching aid.
Yeah.
So path going left, so that means that club is travelling left as it strikes the ball, as you could feel as out to in. It's actually not really out to in some ideas, because if you go down to the overheads,
Always in.
yeah, you can see there's no out.
Yeah.
So the club never gets the other side of the straight line here, so Matt brings it inside, then drops it further inside, and that results in all of these, I'm presuming, are toe strikes. Yeah, so he's always hitting the toe of the club. Now if we bring my numbers up again, I'd capture this without the teaching aid. So this is my stroke again. I'm putt par 3.8 left. Same thing. I'm a little bit more of a kind of figure of 8.
Yeah.
Little bit of a curve, but again, not really ever getting much out. But every one of mine also coming out the toe, and if you go to strike, you can see there I'm easily every toe, and then one wild toe one there. So obviously with that in mind, this teaching aid is something that could allow me and Matt to change our stroke, our strike point, and then in turn we would have to then test, I guess, that actually makes us any better or not.
Yeah.
Should we see what the teat chain actually does? Let's measure some with the barriers in the way. We're calibrated, the gates are in place. Let's see what he does now with the help of an aid. Oh, did you tap that inside one then?
I hit that inside one, yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, I'm regretting putting it so close now.
Well, you could move it. The idea of this is just to get the aid to help you. It's not to punish you.
Well, if I want to change my stroke, I feel like if I open this one up a little bit,
right,
and gave myself more space there, it would make me want to go out there more rather
that's
than
the beauty
here.
of something like this and other ones, is that you can learn how to get the most for you.
Like, that's definitely moved strike, I think, on that one.
You could feel it, could you?
Yeah. The most obvious thing is my eye line.
Go on. So you're using the mirror for your eye line?
Yeah, the lines on the mirror for my eye line. My eye line is mental. It's like over here.
Where's your eye line? Yeah, mine's the
eyes
same.
are
When
here.
I got this and used the mirror, my eye line was also way over this.
Yeah,
So it's making you change the way you stand, is it?
Yeah, so I'm literally coming I'm just literally changing where my weight is on my feet, basically, and that's easily doing it. I don't have to set up any different, like further away.
And does that feel comfortable or not comfortable?
But it feels comfortable because I'm not really changing. I'm just moving where my weight is. It's more in the centre of my feet now, whereas it's more balls of my feet before.
Yeah.
And it's also changing the lie of my putter, I think.
Yeah, it will do.
That will tail us on there, but definitely feels and looks like it is.
Because your hand position's changing as your pressures go back and forwards.
Yeah.
Different strike again?
Yeah, different strike again. Let's start here, bro.
How's it going?
Start then. Oh my god.
There's a lot of green.
A lot, only 4% not green.
Let's see the stroke path then. Yeah, so you're 0.9 right now.
To the right, yeah. And if
Putt
you look
path,
at this,
and if you look at the overheads now,
there's no drop to this side, is there at all?
no, that's very efficient. That's putting god kind of strokes, isn't it?
All green.
Strike.
Yeah.
So consistency isn't there.
First one is the blue one, which I
Absolutely felt that you whacked the
whacked the
gate.
gate and then it all went wrong. But the rest, you take that one out, I reckon that's more green in there again. Isn't
Yeah, well,
it?
if you go back to that screen, you can see impact spot. Everything's in tour averages, which is the grey, apart from the one where you're still fighting it at the start. You can see you're just desperate to drop it back in there.
Yeah.
So what does that mean for you? That means, in theory, if I was coaching you, like, I'm going to drill you, like, you need to get on the gate every day.
So oh, you got a friend. Yeah. Shall I hold it?
Yeah, you hold it. I'm sorry.
That wasn't the delivery.
That wasn't an appropriate call, and I didn't need to see that Bible at that given time. So, yeah, I mean, for you, it's definitely, for me, if I was coaching you, it's like, you need to drill this.
So,
and we need to see the results.
And, like, strike obviously is going to affect distance control, things
Start
like
direction.
that. So, if that is changing my distance control, then I'd have to relearn how hard I'm hitting stuff and things like that. But if it's going to give me that consistency, then I would definitely strive towards using that to get those results, definitely.
The other thing I think about as well, when I watch our videos, is the amount of left to right putts we miss low.
Yeah.
If you start it off the toe, the ball tends to start a bit more to the right. I know for a fact, right left putt for me, I'm happy to toe it out there. I'm a dyer of a pace kind of a guy. The more I start it up the right with soft pace, I just drop them in.
Yeah.
But you get those left to rights when you are hitting it off the toe, or you don't know you're going to get one a bit further off the toe.
Yeah.
That's a low miss waiting to happen so easily. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because as well, with moving path to the right, if you keep missing that left to right low, you want to keep moving your path more to the left,
yes, totally.
which might make things worse again. So, like, practicing those left to righters with the gate, with your new stroke and stuff, might just build you that confidence to be able to do it when you're out on the course.
I want to go.
Go on then.
Now I have been using this a bit in the last few days.
Yeah.
I also feel like we said, my eye line has changed.
Yeah.
So I really stood back with my pressure and feel like I'm back, like you were saying. That definitely makes me feel as well like I'm more coming from my shoulders that way then.
More door.
More kind of like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, which I quite like. And do you know what's quite interesting with this as well? For me, is I start getting feelings that I remember having. That's what I love about any tip that someone gives me when I used to go for lessons or what have you, or a teaching aid. And there aren't many I really get excited about or into, to be honest, because I think most of them, I would say there's a bigger percentage of crud out there that does nothing for anyone than there is useful. It makes me think, I remember feeling that.
Yeah.
Like when I used to train, when I used to actually play to a half decent standard. And so I quite like having those feelings come back. They have to be forced back into me with a teaching aid.
Yeah.
But I quite like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I've got 5 as well. Let's see, my patterns were pretty much the same as yours. Let's see if I can miss the gate. I've just nailed the inside one.
He took it out. Oh, he did take it out.
Yeah, I moved it. It went in. You're not meant to hold these. So my putter is wider than yours.
Yeah.
So I'm at a 6 and then a 6 to 5.5 is what I'm going, because I'm really trying to.
Are you
push
pushing this one further?
This one
out?
I don't care that much about. I want more room that end.
Okay.
This one I'm getting quite strict on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that feels very different in the strike.
Didn't go in.
When I do that. Purely through pace though. But we'll talk about it not going in, because I think as the day goes on, because I think that's an important point with training aids, how people maybe get a little confused with them. That was just the same putt but harder.
Yeah.
So it went through the break a bit more. Oh yeah, I have to really feel that I'm not hitting that inside one.
Yeah. Putt.
Again,
That's it.
Was that all 5?
That's 5.
There we go.
That's the thing with training aids
Yeah,
as
but
well, though, isn't it?
again, we'll talk about that as the day goes on. So if you look at my path now, I'm 0.
Very good.
But the consistency isn't there, so you can see my consistency is low, so I'm fighting what the training aid is doing. You can see here again, one path just got really funky, which was again my first, like yours. Everything else is in those tour averages.
Yeah, yeah.
If we go down to the next slide, you can see that there are my patterns.
Yeah.
Definitely a little bit of wobble, but I would be much happier with those for paths going forward in my life.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see I'm just desperately trying to find the toes still.
One again.
Yeah, that's what took
me,
it. 12, it took the old blingy out.
I think
absolutely wiped out the.
There's so many good things with training aids as well, and you'll probably talk about this throughout the day, but like that, both of our first ones prove that we don't do a feeling enough, even though we know what we're doing wrong.
Yes.
So to move it that much, it took us one go to then go, oh crikey.
Yeah.
Like, get it out there.
Yeah.
That's the feel that I need to do. Move it.
And that's where teaching aids sometimes can be brilliant.
Really good. Yeah.
Can't they? I like that.
No.
That's still a cheeky one though, isn't there?
It was nice, yeah. Oh, didn't film that one.
That went in, bro. So why don't I use a teaching aid for my chipping?
It's a good question, because it's a part of your game where you were struggling.
Yeah, I do struggle. I do struggle.
Yeah.
As in, well, this is the key factor for me, is I never did struggle. It was one of my stronger, it was as strong, if not stronger than my putting when I actually played.
Yeah.
It's an area of my game, since I don't play as much, has deteriorated.
Oh, good little bunching down there though.
Well, do you know what I find with my, and this is the contrast with teaching aids maybe work into this, how they can help you and not, is with my chipping, I feel like I just need to find a series of setup feelings that work for me, that give me the strike I want, and I feel like I want to find them because I've had them before. So you're not giving me a feeling I've not had before. You're trying to give. I'm just trying to tap back into things that I know that I can do.
So if you were to find a training aid that simply just gave you those feelings back, would you instantly use it?
I would, but think about it in a different way then. I know if I chip every day, 5 days a week, for about an hour, which is what I did when I played, I have full confidence that my chipping would be good. So it's actually more giving in to the fact that I know I don't do it enough.
And is that because...
So that's not a teaching aid, is it? That's about me getting out here and doing it more.
Is it because you know you've got the skill set though? If someone's not got the skill set you have,
then a teaching aid might help them find a feeling.
Quicker,
Yes. Yeah, I agree. And also with my chipping as well, I feel like it sounds really funny, but I feel like it's a mental battle between me and it.
And you want to win.
And I want to win it. I want to win it. And I also even as a coach, I quite enjoy having the battle in a funny way. Because I feel like the student, I feel like my own student. And often, to be a better coach, I always think you need to understand a bit of the struggle as well. I think coaches too often forget. I did a talk recently with TGI and I said, you know, I can do a video on how high to tee the ball up every week and people will watch it. And they laugh because they're all golf pros. And I say, you know, how high to tee the ball up, but you forget there are plenty of people out there who are starting golf today going onto YouTube and how are they meant to know that? We take so much for granted.
How to grip.
Absolutely. You forget how simple sometimes people want it or need it at the beginning or even when they've been playing. For me, I see it more as a personal struggle.
Oh, what a time to do that, eh?
Vokey SM7. Oh.
Hey.
So I see it more as a personal struggle for me that I actually want to win, because I see it also as a bit of a mental struggle. Not just training aid physical. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, totally.
So I'm enjoying the mental battle, and I don't feel like I feel like a teaching aid would help me if there was something technically I needed to improve, but you take that teaching aid away and I go and stand on a course vlog and it's an uphill chip which I don't like and you're all giggling. I'm not sure that teaching aid is going to help me or not. Where if I find a feeling in here without the safety net, because it's about the safety net not being there for me. Teaching aids are safety nets. So I've always quite liked practicing without safety nets, because again it feels more realistic.
I get that.
Have I given you the old art school analogy?
The art school analogy.
Should I give you the art school analogy?
Yeah, go on then.
So I don't like 3D, but when you go to art school you do like the different disciplines like photography, fine art, 3D, ceramics, so on and so forth. So we go into the 3D room, which is basically build anything in 3 dimensions. Lots of cutting wood and things like that. So they have a wood cutter, you know, the bladed thing you turn on and you put your wood through. And the guy said, we used to have one that when you touched, the blade would stop. So if you touched it with your finger, the blade would stop. Safety, isn't it? That makes sense, because there's we're at school, 17, 18-year-olds doing...
want to chop your finger off.
And he said what happens is we have more accidents with that than we did with the one before where it didn't stop. Because guess what students do?
They wanted to try.
Watch this. Oh, it still cuts your finger. Just might not go through the bone. So he said it's actually better to tell people that it's really dangerous and you shouldn't touch it. And then they actually... Oh, I've rolled it again. Got panned with that thing, mate.
I try and guess when you're going to do it, but it's quite hard just to guess, you know.
But that I feel like with that... Don't go in.
No.
Don't go in. Not in front of Matt. Stop. Thank God. Thank you for not going in 2 in a row. But I feel like teaching aids are that. So sometimes, and I do see it, is that I see people using a teaching aid, not sure why they're using it, and then in turn also not sure what it's doing. So then when you take the teaching aid off them, they're none the wiser of what's just happened. It's almost like they think it's just a magical tall. That's what makes me not use a teaching aid.
Yeah,
As in, I just need to do more. I feel very strongly if I do it more, I can find it.
yes.
It's about the person again, isn't it? So do training aids work? Yes. Can they not help you? Absolutely. Can they be misapplied, if you like? More often than not. Training aids in conjunction with professional advice on what you need to do to improve are powerful and can be powerful tools, but still you should never forget it's not the PuttOut mirror that's helping me or making me putt better. All that's doing with those two little bars is giving me ideas of what it will feel like to make a movement. I've always got to remove those safety nets. I've always got to be able to perform under pressure in situation without those safety nets there. The big question is how you react to safety nets being there and being taken away almost. Can you take from the safety net practice what you need out and then apply it to your game on the course? That's the biggest question. I see a lot of people relying too much on teaching aids. They don't really know what they do. It's almost like, you know, because they're sold as magical fixes often, certainly on TV infomercial things where they're like 5 swings and stop you. No, jeez, please. Put your comments down below, let me know best teaching aids you've used, ones that have been useless, ones that you've invested money in and you thought it sounded great and it was useless or it was great. Let me know down there. As always, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.